In this video we're going to look at the plot editor. Now the plot editor itself is locked to the center of the user interface and is where you view and work on your projects. You can have multiple files open in this central area, each of which will be in its own tab, but I wouldn't recommend too many as it will become cluttered quite quickly. If you do any kind of work in a plot editor, then an asterisk will appear in the tab denoting unsaved changes. So if you look at the boat1.rep file tab here, you can see the asterisk at the front. And this is because of the changes we made to the Nelson track in the previous section. So what we'll do now is we'll click on File, and then we'll click on Save. And because our original file has changed, we must save it in a different format. We'll come on to the different file types later on. So we click on OK, and the Save As dialog will appear. Now select the project folder created earlier. Mine was debrief_test_project_01, and then click on OK. And what you'll notice is that the rep file we have in the plot editor tab there is going to be renamed as a DPF file. So we click on OK, and the file saves. And now you'll notice that the tab in the editor has changed to the new file name. So the asterisk is gone, and it's boat1.dpf. If you prefer to use the shortcut keys, you could have pressed Ctrl S on your keyboard to do the same thing. And now we'll look at navigating within the plot area, because in addition to using the mouse to move around the plot area, there are other ways of navigating, including using the tab key to cycle through the drag modes. And if you have a mouse wheel, you can press the Control key and then zoom in and out that way, as I'm doing now. Now, to move a plot, you can move the plot order by clicking on the tab and then dragging it into a new position alongside an existing tab. So what we're going to do now is in the navigator view, we're going to select boat2.rep and we'll double click on it. We'll get the select track mode because this is what we selected in the preferences earlier to be asked each time, and we click on OK. And then the file displays in a new tab. So now we have boat1.dpf and boat2.rep. Remember, the rep is the original file. What we'll do now is we'll move the boat1.dpf file. We'll click on it on the tab to make it active, and then we'll start dragging it across. Now, as soon as it goes over the other tab, as you can see, the mouse cursor changes to these file icon. So if I drop it there, what happens is boat2.rep and boat1.dpf change places, and boat1 is now the active file. But also what happened was you see the shaded box as well as the cursor. So that's an indication of where the file will go, or where the plot will go. So now we'll take this one step further and we'll view multiple plots. Debrief allows you to view multiple plots in one window, much in the same way as you can arrange windows in other applications. So what we'll do is we'll left click on boat2.rep to select it and hold the mouse button down. Now, depending on where you want to position this editor in relation to the boat1.dpf editor, you can drag the tab towards the edge of the screen, either to the top, and notice where the shaded area now appears in the top of the plot editor. If I drag it over to the left, it appears in the left. If I drag it down to the bottom, and I drag it to the right. And if I release the mouse in any of these positions, that's where it'll place my new editor. So I'm going to drop it over on the right, and there we go. The plot editor adjusts accordingly. So now I'm going to open up another file. So in the navigator view, I select shapes.dpf, and I double click to open it. Now you might get the select track mode and you might have to press over the ground 3 or 4 times, but once it's open, click on hold on the Shapes Rep tab, and then we'll drag it down to the bottom of the screen, and look what happens. And there you see the grey shaded area which shows you where the file will be dropped. I release my mouse button and there we go. We have boat1.dpf, boat2 and shapes. And of course, if I have other plot editors open, I can do this with these files to further segment the plot editor area. And now we'll look at rearranging or removing plots. Now, rearranging plots is very easy. As we did before, left click and hold on the tab, and then I can start dragging it up to the boat2.rep. I can put it on top of the file tab, and then it will replace it and become the active tab. Or I can put it alongside, and there we get the grey border of where it will appear. Or I can take it across to the boat1.dpf section, and I can do the same thing. And what I'll do is I'll drop it next to it. And then it becomes the active tab. And that's how we rearrange plots. And to remove plots, we simply click on the X close button. or if you know the keyboard shortcut, you can press Ctrl W, or you can even click on File and then on Close. So now we have boat1.dpf and boat2.rep in our plot editor, and in the next video we're going to look at Debrief's toolbars.